The victims of the Armenian genocide were the Armenians, and the perpetrators of this act consisted of the Ottoman Empire.
The Armenian genocide was a systematic slaughter of millions of Armenians. During World War I in 1915, Turkish government leaders set a plan in motion which planned to eradicate and massacre Armenians. By the early 1920s, when the genocide finally ended, between 600,000 and 1.5 million Armenians were killed, while others were forced out of the country. Today, unlike Germany, the Turkish government refuses to acknowledge the size and effects of these events.
After the Ottoman loss in the Battle of Sarıkamış in 1915, where the Ottomans tried to push back the Russians, the government needed something to blame the defeat on other than their poor military leadership. They found this in the Armenians, who, along with other non-Muslims in the army, were transferred into labor battalions and later systematically murdered. To this day, many countries, including the United States, Great Britain, and Israel, still do not consider the events of 1915 to 1916 as a genocide, as to not harm their political relationship with Turkey. Turkey itself has denied for many decades that the events were a genocide and refuses to admit that there was a systematic killing of Armenians, not just deportations, which it does admit to. I think that by accepting that these events were a genocide and not trying to defend those who committed these terrible acts just because they represent what you came from is the best thing we can do. If we deny that this genocide happened, even if only for political reasons, then we cannot fully learn from the mistakes of those who perpetrated it.
During the 15th century, Armenia was absorbed into the Ottoman Empire. Armenia was a predominantly Christian society, and the Ottoman Empire was predominantly Muslim. When Armenia was absorbed, they were allowed some religious autonomy. However, the Ottomans also subjected them to unjust and unequal treatment as they were viewed as infidels. Christians, the Armenians, had to pay higher taxes than the Muslims, and were also provided with few legal and political rights. Despite all this, the Armenian communities managed to thrive under the Ottoman government. Their success only caused the Turkish neighbors to resent them even more. This resentment was mixed with suspicions that the Armenians would prove to be more loyal to Christian governments, such as that of Russia, rather than to the Ottoman Caliphate. Their suspicions became more concentrated when the Ottoman Empire began to crumble. By the end of the 19th century, Abdul Hamid II stated that he would solve the Armenian question once and for all. He stated that I will soon settle those Armenians. I will give them a box on the ear which will make them relinquish their revolutionary ambitions. This box on the ear took the form of the systematic mass murder of the Armenian community. The purpose of this was ridding people that could possibly attempt overthrowing the current government.